In 1944, the British Army released a report on a new psychological condition affecting their troops. They called it Tiger Phobia. The mere rumor that a German heavy tank was in the area was enough to stall an entire Allied advance. But the Tiger wasn't the only predator in the Wehrmacht zoo. While the Allies focused on mass production, churning out thousands of Shermans and T-34s, Germany bet everything on technological supremacy. They built steel monsters designed to be invincible. Today, we aren't just listing vehicles. We are ranking the top 10 German armored fighting vehicles by lethality and the fear they instilled in American, British, and Soviet leaders. From the silent ambush hunters to the 70-ton behemoths that could only be stopped by air power. Number 10. The Panzer IV. It never got the fame of the Tiger, but this was the spine of the German army. It was the only German tank to remain in production for the entire war. Early in the conflict, it was a support tank, but by 1942, it was upgraded with the long-barreled 75mm KWK-40 gun. Why was it feared? Because it was everywhere. For a U.S. tanker in a standard Sherman, the Panzer IV was a deadly equal. It could penetrate the Sherman's frontal armor from over a kilometer away. It wasn't invincible, but in the hands of a veteran crew, the Panzer IV was a dangerous, reliable workhorse that punished any Allied commander who underestimated it. Number 9. The Hetzer. By 1944, Germany was losing the war of production. They needed a cheap, effective tank killer. Enter the Jagdpanzer 38T, known as the Hetzer or Baiter. Standing only 2 meters tall, it was incredibly difficult to spot. In the hedgerows of Normandy and the forests of the Ardennes, the Hetzer was a ghost. It utilized a remote-controlled machine gun on the roof, meaning the crew could fight infantry without ever exposing themselves. Allied convoys dreaded this vehicle. One moment the road was clear, the next the lead tank was burning, and the enemy was nowhere to be seen.
Number 8. The Stug 3. Technically, this is an assault gun, lacking a rotating turret, but we cannot exclude the vehicle responsible for destroying more Allied tanks than any other in the war. The Sturmgeschütz 3 was low profile, hard to hit, and carried a punch. Because it had no turret, it was cheaper to make and could carry a heavier gun than a standard tank of its size. Many German Panzer aces, including the legendary Michael Wittmann, actually cut their teeth commanding Stugs. For Soviet tankers on the Eastern Front, the Stug was a constant, lethal annoyance that excelled at the defensive ambush.
Number 7. The Noshhorn, the rhinoceros. If you were close to a Noshhorn, it was easy to kill. It had paper-thin armor that small arms fire could penetrate. But the problem was getting close. The Noshhorn mounted a 88mm Mach 43 anti-tank gun on a mobile chassis. On the open steppes of Russia, it could engage and destroy T-34s from distances of up to 4,000 meters. That is 4 kilometers. Soviet crews would often watch their lead tanks explode before they even heard the gunshot. It was the ultimate glass cannon. Number 6. The Sturmtiger. This vehicle represents the sheer insanity of late-war German engineering. Built on a Tiger I chassis, it didn't fire shells. It fired a 380mm rocket-propelled charge, a weapon originally designed to sink submarines. It was designed for brutal urban warfare, specifically to level entire buildings with a single shot. There are reports from the Western Front of a single Sturm Tiger round destroying 3 parked Sherman tanks simply from the shockwave of the explosion. It was rare, but if you saw that massive barrel pointing at your position, you knew there was no cover that could save you.
Number 5. The Panther. Many military historians argue this was actually the best tank of World War II. After encountering the Soviet T-34, German engineers copied its sloped armor to create the Panther. It had it all: high speed, excellent frontal protection that bounced Allied shells, and a high-velocity 75mm gun that had even better penetration than the Tiger's 88. In the Battle of Kursk and the hedgerows of France, the Panther was a superior machine to almost everything the Allies could feel. It was rushed into production, leading to frequent engine fires and transmission failures. But when it worked, it was the apex predator of medium tanks.
Number 4. The Jogged Panther. If the Panther was the best tank, the Jogged Panther was widely considered the best tank destroyer of the war. It took the excellent chassis of the Panther and mounted the massive 88mm gun into a fixed superstructure. This design gave it a sleek, sloped profile that was incredibly hard to penetrate. Fast, agile, and hitting with the force of a freight train, it was the perfect combination of mobility and firepower. A single Jogged Panther unit in Normandy was credited with destroying 11 British Churchill tanks in just 2 minutes. It was a masterpiece of lethal design.
Number 3. The Elephant. Also known as the Ferdinand, this vehicle was a mobile fortress. With 200mm of frontal armor, there was almost nothing in the Allied arsenal that could penetrate it from the front. During the Battle of Kursk, reports state that Soviet shells simply shattered against its hull. However, it had a fatal flaw. In its initial design, engineers forgot to include a machine gun for close defense. While it could destroy tanks at long range, brave Soviet infantry learned they could simply run up to it and throw Molotov cocktails into the engine vents. A terrifying monster at range, but a helpless giant up close.
Number 2. The Tiger I. No tank is more iconic. The Tiger I was the physical embodiment of German heavy armor. Introduced in 1942, it was shocking. Allied shells bounced off its thick hide, while its 88mm gun popped Shermans like balloons. It forced a complete change in Allied tactics. You didn't fight a Tiger one-on-one. You needed 5 Shermans to flank it, distract it, and hope one of you could get a shot. The fear of this tank was so pervasive that Allied crews often misidentified every German tank they saw as a Tiger. It wasn't just a tank, it was a psychological weapon.
Number 1. The King Tiger. If the Tiger I was a monster, the Tiger II was a god of war. Weighing nearly 70 tons, it featured sloped armor up to 180mm thick and the improved long-barrel 88mm gun. There are no recorded instances of the King Tiger's frontal armor ever being penetrated by an Allied tank in combat. Not one. At the end of a street, that street was closed. Its only real enemies were its own fuel consumption, mechanical breakdowns, and Allied fighter bombers. But in a straight tank-on-tank duel, the King Tiger had no equal. It was the ultimate, terrifying pinnacle of German armored warfare.
These steel beasts were engineering marvels,
but they were too complex, too expensive, and too few to stop the sheer industrial might of the Allies. Which of these would you have feared most if you were an Allied tanker? The invisible Hetzer or the invincible King Tiger? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe and click the bell for more deep dives into military history.